They did release in December, but they only released beta boards to developers and people with the ability to develop for it. So they did, but they didn't.
I see.
But they did.
Okay.
But they didn't. And now here's the thing. In the last day, they put 2 boards up on auction. For those people that really just have to get it, there was a total of 3 of them that they were going to put on auction. 2 of them were already up on auction, and the price they were getting was a little bit steep.
Of course.
For the door-to-door to jump on.
Yeah, that's lame. I mean, this thing's going to be sold for $25. What are they doing auctioning it off?
Well, it's for the real giddy fellows.
Okay.
Right now, one of them is being sold for, there's 3 days left on it, and it's 2,050 pounds.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am. And the second one is 930 pounds.
They're nuts.
Well, no, they're not nuts. The people bidding on them are nuts.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
What are they?
Well,
What are they? Developers or something?
I think they're developers and just fanboys who want to talk about it on their site and show it on their site and say, ooh, you know, or just they want to rub it all over their bodies. I don't know. But they're on eBay, which means very soon they are going to be releasing these. I really want to get one. And we'll wait to the end of the cast. And I really want to get one. They also are going to be at CES. They're not going to have their own booth. They're going to be piggybacking on someone else's booth.
If they keep selling them for $2,000 a piece or $2.5, they're going to be able to afford their own booth.
They're going to be for their own hotel. They're going to be at the Broadcom stand. So if you yourself are going to be at CES, stop by the Broadcom stand and take a peek at it. And when they do finally go on sale, they are going to be the only distributors of this. If you see any place else saying you can do pre-orders right now, they are lying and they are scamming your money.
Interesting.
Okay. RaspberryPi.com is where they're going to be for sale, at least for the first round of shipments, because they want to have full control over shipping and returning kind of thing. They don't want nothing to go wrong.
Okay.
So I'm a little giddy.
Yeah, this is going to be a neat device.
Right. Don't let me forget the end of the cast. I want to bring that back up.
Sure.
Okay. Next topic. One of the tasks a lot of people seem to need once and then never need again is the ability to rip CDs. Okay. Once you do it, as long as you properly back up, you're fine. You never need to do this again. I personally believe, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge, I'm not a politician or anything else. I'm just a geek. I personally believe anything you buy, you own. And if you own it, you should be able to at least have a safe backup of stuff you own. It's a belief. It's not a fact. So you can rip your CDs. There's an application for GNOME. I'm only saying this because a lot of people seem to prefer GNOME over KDE. There are KDE applications that probably work better for this. But if you're running a GNOME and you load a KDE app for the very first time, it's going to be a big download with a big building process for that one app. Why not try to stick with GNOME, which will be a really small download, really quick build for the app. And it's called Sound Juicer.
Yes.
I actually had a lot of fun with this, even though all the CDs I have here, like, oh yeah, I'll show you this one, Steve.
Let me guess, REO Speedwagon?
No.
The wrestling album.
Oh yeah, that's an old one there.
Oh my God, man.
Oh yeah, Jesse the Body.
Wow.
Yeah, that's an old one. And I was ripping it just to rip it, just to test it out. And I got to say, Sound Juicer worked really good. This is honestly old technique and old technology. This has been mastered for like 10 years kind of thing. So the application just works good. You just put in the CD, you hit the button, it automatically fills in the title, fills in the track, fills in everything, and just saves it to your folder. You know, works really good.
It took me a while to find a screenshot, but it seems like it's very utilitarian, as you mentioned before. I finally found a screenshot, but it just works, man. Hey, I like it.
Well, to be honest, this is what I like about GNOME type applications. They're, in my opinion, more single driven. They're like unitaskers more.
Right, I see what you're saying.
Right. You want to like convert this? Here's a converter. You want to rip this? Here's a ripper. You want to burn this? Here's a burner. You want to duplicate this? Here's how you duplicate. I honestly like that because then I know when I open up the app, I'm not going to have to click through weird things to get to the task I want to get to.
Yeah, exactly. It's cut and dry. Let's do this type of app. I like it. I like those kind of apps too. They remind me of like CCleaner, stuff like that, you know?
Yes. Okay, the next one I want to talk about real quick. Steve, I'm not going to mention what it is yet first. I just want you to click on it, the link I have in the show notes. I want you to scroll down just a little teeny bit, click on that screenshot, and tell me what it looks like to you.
On the one on the right here? The blue one?
No, down a little bit more. That's an ad.
Oh, iTunes.
Yes, it looks absurdly like iTunes. So if you have a user who likes to use iTunes, I'm 99.99999999999% sure this will not in any shape, way, or form connect to iTunes or probably even accept iTunes playlist kind of things. But if they really like the silvery interface and they really like having stuff on the left and then having the tracks and stuff on the right, this might actually make them happy.
And it looks like it's called. Oh, God, I'm sorry.
And it's called Clementine.
You know, that's my cat's name.
That's a good name.
It is a good name. I didn't name her that. That's how she came. But yeah, this looks pretty cool. And I like that it seems like, I mean, it has options, but I don't know if it would interface with certain services like GrooveShark, Last.fm, Spotify. That's pretty cool if it does.
See, that to me is the kicker that makes it better.
That's
than
gold.
iTunes.
It actually interfaces with them?
Yes, you can add basically plugins that can allow you to create playlists on GrooveShark or Last.fm or Jamendo or Sky FM or Spotify or all these other things.
Ah, cool.
Right. And I'll say this, it does fully integrate with the Unity desktop to where if you have it running and if you right click the icon on the right toolbar, whatever it's called, I don't even know what it's called, the bar in Unity, you get direct access to the controls: play, pause, stop, previous, next.
Really?
Yeah.
That's just an awesome app, dude.
That, I honestly believe that could very quickly become the standard app in the user-friendly distros.
Right. I agree. I think this is going to gain a lot of traction.
Yeah. Time will tell, but I think so. Okay, this next thing, Steve, I honestly just had to share this. Okay. We all should have at least heard of the name Bob Ross. Haven't we?
The painter with the painter with the happy clouds.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was, but thank you for the confirmation. It's the guy back on old PBS who would literally explain to you, not in extreme detail, but he would explain to you how to create art.
He would do one. He would create a painting right there.
And that's the thing. Right as he was doing it, the camera would literally zoom up to a small section of that picture he was painting, and it would show you the brush stroke, and he would explain the technique, and he would add fluffiness to it, while he was saying it. But that was the entertainment value of it. And when the show was done, you would have almost, dare I say, a masterpiece.
Yeah. And the most fascinating part about that was he'd make something, he'd be like, that is beautiful. And then he would take his paintbrush and draw like a huge black line down the middle of it. And you're like, you just ruined it. And you get all pissed off. And then he's like, I'm just making a tree. And like he turns that ugly black line to this nice tree that fits perfectly into perspective with the whole painting. It was it's awesome show, man. I want to go back and watch episodes of that. But anyway, what are we talking about here? Oh, go ahead.
I'll say the same thing. The one thing I remember he did was he took black and he made a huge cross on the screen. And I was like, what are you doing? And my sister was like, just shut up and watch it. And he turned it into, you were looking through a window frame.
Really?
And I was like, oh, that's genius.
I know.
But okay, there's basically, there's no way it's Bob Ross, okay? But it's called Bob Ross in GIMP. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4, 12 to 16-minute long videos. Part 1 is the sky, Part 2 is the mountains, Part 3 is the background, Part 4 is the foreground. And he basically takes you through step by step, explaining what brushes he's picking, and he's showing you how to make art. I mean, we've all seen time-lapse photos or time-lapse videos of people in Photoshop or GIMP or whatever making these huge things of art, and they're like super fast, and they don't explain nothing. So you just sit there the whole time going, what? Oh, wow. Man, that's good. And you would see it build into something dramatic and, graphically pleasing, really pleasing. They would explain crap to you. This is the inverse. This guy's explaining to you how to do this kind of stuff.
Really?
Yeah, so if you have, here's the real thing. This isn't for virtually anybody listening to this cast. It really isn't. This is what you want to send someone who has any desire at all to create graphics, especially
wait. Why is this not for anybody listening to this cast? Linux users aren't allowed to be artistic?
I don't expect the kind of people listening to this cast in their car while they're driving back and forth or on the train and they go back and forth to say to themselves, when I get home, I need to make a scenery. I maybe I'm wrong. And maybe if I'm wrong, email me, tell me I'm wrong. But I can picture, honestly, someone sitting there driving and thinking, my niece or my nephew really, has a real artistic thing about them. I can get them the GIMP for free, give them these videos, and we can see what they create.
Wow. This is awesome, man. I love this thing. Look at this. He just drew some mountains as we were talking, and they're, he did the whole Bob Ross thing. He just takes a black angled brush and starts making lines, and now he's turning it into a nice mountain. It's really cool. There's a great find, dude.
Well, I stumbled across, I believe, on Google Plus from somebody, but that's the thing that I could never get when it comes to art. I know and understand a face is a circle with cubes and a rectangle and all that kind of thing. I understand the geometry to it. I cannot understand being able to physically see that far in front of what you're doing to literally just appear like you're throwing ink on the screen, and then seconds later for it to make complete sense.
That's the thing. See, this must be practice, because I can't remember where I learned it or somebody told me, but it's just like, I mean, we all have eyes and we all see things, and art is just a duplication of what we're seeing. So if you're just able to remember what you saw and know the technique to just recreate that on canvas or paper or screen, whatever, and you do it enough times, you'll be able to do it. Right?
Okay. So you're saying I should draw naked ladies? No, I digress.
Yes, touche.
Okay. Going from making art to sharing art. I actually linked to them together here, Steve. It's a piece of software called Imagination. A lot of people out there have absolutely no use for this software, but a lot of people who want to give, let's say, DVDs to parents or siblings that don't know how to use a computer, you can make a DVD slideshow of images with transitions and music and stuff like that with this piece of software.
Okay, let me pull it up. And let's see, is it this OMG Ubuntu?
Imagination. No, imagination.
Source. Sweet.
Yeah. what this is basically almost, I think of it as like wizard based